Hey everybody, it's Joe here from Style by Joe. Welcome to In the Kitchen with Joe. Today I'm actually going to be making such an incredible classic. I'm making risotto Milanese. Now, risotto takes time, but my suggestion is you use the best ingredients that you can and you don't rush it. So, let me tell you what we're going to be using. We're going to be using 3½ cups of chicken stock. I have that on the stove. I brought it up to a boil and then I lowered it to a simmer. But you want to keep that stock hot because that's going to help you work it. We're going to use a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil, 1 finely chopped onion. We're going to use a cup of arborio rice. We're going to use a ½ cup of dry white wine. Again, when cooking with wine, make sure it's a wine that you would want to drink because what you want to use the wine for is it reduces. And as it reduces, that flavor gets amplified. So if it's not a good drinking wine, it's not going to be a good cooking wine. You want to use a 1/4 teaspoon of saffron threads. Yeah, I can talk. You're going to use 2 ounces of freshly grated Parmigiano Reggiano. We're going to use a 1.5 tablespoons of butter. We're going to use a ½ teaspoon of salt and a ½ teaspoon of freshly cracked black pepper. So like I said, the chicken stock is already cooking. I actually made this chicken stock today. Yeah, it was that kind of day. So we're going to use a tablespoon of the extra virgin olive oil. We're just going to pour that around. Oh, there we go. We're just going to pour that around. Normally I say 1 tablespoon is once around. And to that, we're going to add the chopped up onion. Now, we want to cook this until just translucent. Any darker than translucent is a flavor that we don't want. We don't want it to brown, so I'm going to start that. Check back with you in a few minutes. Okay, so it took about 7 minutes on high heat to get my onions translucent. Next, I'm going to add the arborio rice after I turned it down to a medium-high heat. You want to give that a good toss because right now we're trying to toast the rice, and that's going to take about 2 or 3 minutes. And again, keep a pretty good stir on that because we don't want it to brown. We just want it to get a little tan, a little toasted, because that's going to open up the kernels of the rice, the fiber of the rice, to take in all of what we're going to be adding to it. Like I said, this is going to take about 2 or 3 minutes. The heat is going to make the fiber of the rice expand. So it'll take the, all the flavors, all the wine and the chicken stock that we're going to be adding to it. Okay, we're then going to add the wine, which is about 1.5 cups. We're going to be also adding our 1/4 teaspoon of saffron threads. And you want to cook this for about 3 minutes, stirring constantly until the wine becomes almost completely evaporated. I'm actually going to turn this down just a little bit. I think it's too high. Now, for those of you who won't use saffron because it's expensive, threads because you think it's too expensive, you're going to be using such a small amount of it at all times that it's worth it. So the wine has completely evaporated. Now, here comes the part that drives everybody crazy. We're going to be adding in the warm chicken stock, a ladle at a time, and stirring until that becomes completely absorbed. That, in a sense, is going to be what thickens the arborio rice, what makes it release its starch and gives the risotto its creamy consistency.